Okay, so if you are watching this video or maybe like YouTube just automatically played it after whatever else you were watching and you're thinking like, oh, am I still here watching these videos? I need to get up and do stuff, but I just don't feel like it. I am so lazy. Stop, time out. You definitely need to watch this video and we need to talk about what just happened. Earlier this year, I was reading this little book. It's called How to Keep House While Drowning by Casey Davis. And I had an absolute revelation. Let me read it. Okay, so for a little bit of context, Casey Davis is a licensed therapist. And I mean, if you're on TikTok, you may have seen her videos, but this book is specifically written for people who are struggling to take care of themselves during a difficult time or just because life is complicated. I'm going to skip over a lot of the parts about the house, but I'm going to get right to the part that I want to talk about in this video. And it's this. She says, in my work as a therapist, I have seen hundreds of clients who struggle with these issues, and I'm convinced now more than ever of one simple truth. They are not lazy. In fact, I do not think laziness exists. Mic drop. And to be honest, like this concept has been a really hard one for me as I mull it over in my brain. I'm like, what does she mean that it doesn't exist? Like, how did it come to being as a concept if it didn't exist? I'm a Christian, so I can like think of examples in the Bible where they talk about laziness, like not a lot, but a few. And I think like, well, if it's not a thing, then like, why do they talk about it? But I have also come to this conclusion, and it's that I am not a licensed professional when it comes to like my brain. And I also haven't spoken with the number of people that she has. And so I think that she knows more about this than I do. And so while I am personally not ready to make a statement as bold as she does that laziness doesn't exist, every time that I encounter like the thought that I am lazy in my own head, I want to actually be curious about that and make sure that that's what's actually going on. And so when I find myself thinking like, oh, I'm so lazy for whatever reason, I stop and ask myself this question. Am I actually being lazy, or is something else going on? And if I honestly take the time to answer this question, 9 times out of 10, and maybe even 10 times out of 10, I've discovered that there is another answer to this question. I'm overwhelmed. I'm confused. I'm stressed. I'm anxious. I don't feel like I have the proper support to do the thing that I'm trying to do, or the proper supplies, or the proper knowledge, or training, or whatever. Maybe I'm tired, or I'm not feeling well. So all of these things are underlying the reason that I'm procrastinating or not doing the thing that I think I should be doing. And like I end up being really hard on myself for resting or not doing the thing and calling myself lazy when in fact there's a lot of other things that are happening that are keeping me from wanting to do the thing or solve the problem that I'm thinking about. And this matches what she says in this book. In the following paragraph, she says, you know what does exist? Executive dysfunction, procrastination, feeling overwhelmed, perfectionism, trauma, amotivation, chronic pain, energy fatigue, depression, lack of skills, lack of support, and differing priorities. So she agrees. And then there's this one that she doesn't talk about in the book, probably because when you would describe yourself as drowning and needing to take care of your house, you're not really falling into this category. But for all my girlies out there in their high achiever eras, which trust me, that's me a lot of the time when I'm not in my drowning era, there's another thing that makes me feel lazy, and it's my own perfectionism and unrealistic expectations. And it's not optimism. It is unrealistic expectations. I just expect life to go perfectly. I expect things to take less time than they take. And when things go wrong or take longer, or I just have put too many things on my plate for a day or a certain amount of time, I end up feeling lazy because I wasn't able to do it all, or I wasn't able to control things in a way that makes them happen the way that I thought that they would happen when I was picturing it in like my imaginary perfect world. So next time you feel lazy, do me and yourself a favor and ask if that's really all that's going on. Because I think a lot of times for us, we call ourselves lazy, and that actually stops us from doing the hard work of figuring out what's actually going on. And it also does not really make us want to do more things the next time that we want to do things, right? Like you call yourself lazy, you're going to start living into that identity instead of saying like, no, I'm not lazy. I'm just tired today. And that's valid. So anyway, that piece of information has changed a lot about how I talk to myself and also think about getting things done. So I wanted to make sure that I passed it on to you.